Am I the butthole for stealing ducks from small children? Disclaimer: this is a very British and polite post, not a serious issue. I live near a duck pond that has one population of ducks. When there's food, they all go to the same place, they don't split and go to different people. I regularly feed these ducks, but today when I got to the pond, there was a group of adults and children putting out seed already. No issue. I politely wait on the other side of the pond and take some pictures of other wildlife. Then the screams start. No one is being tragically murdered. The kids are shouting for the ducks to do something and running towards them when they do come on land. This is super not okay for me, so I threw down duck food on my side of the pond and hijacked the little birds. Mother of the brats loudly exclaimed to father of the brats that I was a bit bloody cheeky and stole the ducks from her kids. Loud enough for me to hear, but obviously not aimed at me, polite and British, no confrontation. I understand I did steal them, but I just don't like children being taught it's okay to harass animals. Am I the butthole for duck stealing? Edit. Unsolicited duck pic on my profile. Extra edit. I wasn't expecting so many people to appreciate DuckTales. Thank you for the awards, and thank you for your comments which have made me laugh so much. For those of you saying we shouldn't feed ducks, so I'm a butthole for that, it's absolutely not frowned upon to feed ducks in the UK provided you are feeding them the right stuff. Check the RSPB website, or your country's equivalent, for a full list of duck-friendly food, and obviously respect the duck's personal space. To be honest, that kind of politeness is the most annoying part of the British culture. NTA, parents should always teach kids to be respectful to animals. I think it's worse because I guess it's not even polite, it's just awkward. Fully with you on it being annoying though, it's just quite deeply ingrained. They sure weren't polite to the ducks. Personally, I think you should put up a sign that says "Don't be a dick to the ducks." We have signs in the woods saying "Why are you dropping litter here?" And one of the options listed is "Because I'm an idiot." Given that they were genuinely funny, I assumed they'd been made by a neighborhood vigilante, but it turns out they were genuinely put up by the council. I'll contact them about the duck signs. NTA, but you will be one if you don't pay your duck tax. Duck tax paid, look in my profile. This whole post was just a ruse to get people to look at your duck pics, wasn't it? If so, not even mad. NGL, went to check the profile just to see the duck pics. Of course, the first picture was of geese, and I felt slightly misled for a second. Nice. What a hilarious edit too. Are the Canada geese exotics or regularly seen wildlife? I didn't know they were found in British Isles. Thanks for so promptly paying the duck and geese tax. I live in Northern Ireland and we have a bunch of them. I think they migrate over here. Every autumn, approximately 25,000 of these light-bellied birds leave their breeding grounds in East Canada and travel to Ireland to spend the winter. Like their ancestors before them, most will arrive on the mud flats of Strangford to refuel on the nutritious eel grass that grows in abundance here. Cool, thanks. I know intellectually that they all migrate, but it's hard to remember when there's thousands of them here every single day of the year. I assume it must be different populations in winter and summer, but who can tell? Where are you that the geese never actually leave? I'm in the US, right on the border, and the geese definitely leave and come back. It's the come back part that bothers me. I can't stand those sky demons. Canada geese are super common along our waterways. I'm based in the southeast of England and they've been a regular part of my life here. As far as I know, they migrate over the UK and use our waterways as rest sites, but I think some live here full-time now. The University of York, in the UK, separate from York University, Canada, has so many Canadian geese as well as a bunch of other waterfowl. I saw people chased by geese so many times, especially when the goslings were young, as they got a bit territorial over the paths. Also, when trying to live on campus, you quickly learn that goose sex is very loud. Try living in the country with the hedgehogs having loud sex, huff, huff, and huff, then the foxes screaming like a murder victim every night for 2 weeks. When they finally shut the hell up, you get the badgers grunting and chittering. Spring animals are irritating. Trust me, I've lived with all of that. I used to live in a very rural area, nearest neighbor over a mile, etc., and honestly the geese were worse in my opinion. The geese are a lot louder and there was a lot of them in a fairly small area. Very high goose and duck density really upped the volume. It's Canada goose/geese, not Canadian. They don't need passports. I made sure to ask the geese and they confirmed they were Canadian geese with passports. They were concerned Brexit would interfere with their migratory routes. I tried to explain that Canada was also outside of the Schengen zone and was therefore a moot point, but they honked in unison and charged me skeptical. I was at York in the 90s. Before going to university, I'd been in the habit of going barefoot everywhere. The sheer quantity of goose scrap on campus soon put paid to that. Glad to hear they're still going strong. Yes, Canada geese are regulars in the UK. They travel around, my friends used to see them often on the UK. Trust me though, they're huge friggers, and they're loud AF. And aggressive. I hate them. I am fairly certain that Canadian geese are Canada's way of saying F because to actually say it would ruin their reputation. Did you put it on your bill? I'll see myself out. When I was in England visiting a historical site with relatives, one of my distant cousins, aged around 50, told the litterer, "Oh, you dropped something back there." It was hilarious. Super non-confrontational and embarrassing to the litterer. One time I was walking my dog and came to a traffic light. Dude pulls up in a car and just chucks an empty plastic bottle and it conveniently lands at my feet. I'm positive he didn't see me. I picked it up and threw it back through his window. The look on this dude's face. "You dropped that, McDonald's around the corner, they have a recycling bin." He sped off so fast laughing my butt off, didn't see him throw the bottle out again though. I use this all the time. My kids are too young to be mortified by it yet, but I'm looking forward to the double win. You're a hero to me for answering the duck signal and also for unsolicited duck pic, duck. NTA and hopefully council will put up some good signs. Barely related and uninteresting anecdote, when we were last in Scotland, there was an anti-littering campaign reminding people that no one likes a bin dodger. For some reason this struck us as funny enough that we still tell the message to one another when the other leaves a wrapper or something on the counter. Please post a photo of one of these signs. It will make my year better. NTA. I'll go up tomorrow and take a picture, smiley face. Usually there's someone on these councils that loves the environment and handily that person also tends to have a sense of humor. The women that runs my town's parks and trails is a riot. Because I'm an idiot, oh that's great, smiley face. Fight passive aggression with passive aggression. Say to the duck something like, "Well duckies, I guess you're lucky I was here to save you from the likes of them." You should have spoken to the ducks and said, "I'm so sorry that mother wasn't teaching her children to respect animals properly and allowing them to run at you and scare you." In America it's called being passive aggressive. She's too scared to confront you to your face so she has to do it passive aggressively? F no. It's not polite at all. It's rude, disrespectful, and immature. In the UK it can go from passive aggressive to stabbing rather fast. Doesn't sound like Original Post lives in that type of area though. Some good old-fashioned verbal abuse is called for with people like this. They are so shocked sometimes. Canada is also passive-aggressive as feck, it drives me nuts. That short bit John Cleese does in A Fish Called Wanda about British politeness is funny. I have a London friend who says it's not really politeness but subtle sarcasm. Also not the butthole, because now I have an image in my head of a person wearing all black clothing, a ski mask, darting behind trees, hiding behind benches, with some diving and rolling thrown in for good measure. This duck thief runs up to a herd of ducks, gathers them all into a sack, and darts off into the woods, leaving families standing gape-mouthed. All to the Mission Impossible theme. Thank you. As I was reading your mental image, my mental image was leading up to the masked Avenger tossing out seed at the ducks and then running off. The sacking of the ducks, not be confused as firing the ducks from their job, took an unexpected turn for me. Wait a minute, passive aggression is considered polite in Britain? NTA, by the way. More polite than direct confrontation, though this is more regarding strangers or people you aren't so close with. The ruder you can be with someone in general means the closer you are. Passive aggression is as much a part of our social interactions as tutting and queuing. It's practically a national sport. So it's not necessarily that it's more polite, but that it's more of a natural go-to than responding directly to someone, which would seem aggressive even if it was delivered in a sweet and polite way. Exactly. Most of us don't invite confrontation with strangers even if we try and do it politely. It never works. Well, Brits don't like direct confrontation. I love it. You can teach people lessons politely. If original post had yelled at them, like, they would have discounted everything they said as the rant of an irrationally angry person. Web link. Info, by hijacked, do you mean you threw down C to encourage them to waddle over to your side of the pond? The ducks have very short attention spans, so they pretty much favor the newest food. I put food down on my side and they swam over. I just wanted to be sure you weren't escorting them at gunpoint, or herding them onto a picnic blanket, bundling them up, and carrying them bodily to the other side of the pond. NTA. I just wanted to be sure you weren't escorting them at gunpoint. He's British, not American. This comment sent me laughing out loud. I'm laughing way too hard right now. Take my poor man's gold, sports medal, military medal, gold medal. And I offer my humble thanks in return, friend. I'm American and I am offended. That is, didn't think of this response first. Also, NTA. But the idea of bundled up ducks being carried away by a sneaky British gentleman made me laugh. I almost choked on my sandwich. Imagine, oh my god, this comment section is my life, I'm gonna stay here forever. It's nice here, isn't it? I just want to hug everyone. They would be perfectly polite about the bundling situation, of course. You just made me snort out water, sir. Ma'am, actually. It's cool though, glad I made you laugh, and sorry about the water snort thing. I snorted Diet Coke out of my nose reading this. Great imagery. Unusually wholesome Coke snorting comment. Snips. Thanks, I love it. I think you have a new career calling, duck herder. NTA, and yeah, that stuff pisses me off too. Cruelty to animals is never okay. With that username, I question your ability to render an impartial verdict here. Haha, fair point. I probably shouldn't admit to being this stupid, but it reminds me of this time a friend and I thought it would be fun and easy to catch a goose from one of the hundreds hanging out in a park in Chicago. There were so many, they seemed so fat and lethargic just hanging out waiting for people to feed them bread. We spent about 25 minutes chasing geese around in a field covered in goose poop, almost never getting within arm's length of them, and if we did, they would peck at us. I don't even know what we would have done if we caught one. Probably just take a picture and let it go again. I'm surprised they didn't charge you. Geese can be mean, and will hit you with their wings and peck/punch you with their beak. My dog, a 7-year-old pit bull mix, is very interested in our local geese. They're large enough that I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to eat them, their poop is another matter, but he wants to make friends with them. Unfortunately, his idea of making friends is full contact play. Which I'm fairly sure would piss off the geese, who would then gang up on him. I don't let him play with the geese. I have no desire to piss off the cobra chickens. ETA dog tax. Inger, I present Gannett, the goodest boy. Web link. This reminds me of an episode of Gilmore Girls, where Rory gets angry at her bad boy boyfriend Jesse for having a black eye after he promised her he wouldn't get in any more fights. He swears it wasn't a fight, but won't tell her exactly how he got the black eye. The argument continues for basically the whole episode until the end, when he finally admits that he got beaked by a swan. Had you managed to catch one, you'd soon have regretted it. Canadian geese, aka cobra chickens, give seriously nasty bites. Geese loved our outdoor sand riding arena. I think they liked checking out the horse poop for grain. My horse liked to pretend he was a cattle sorting horses and tried to herd the geese. I let him do his thing. So, not duck hijacking, but duck seduction. Seduction, if you will. This deserves more attention. One would think that any competent parent would use this as a chance to say to their kids, "See? I told you not to yell. You've scared them. Now the ducks are going to hang out with that quiet guy. Let's all be quiet, wait a bit and then we'll try this again. NTA. This was the best possible polite, non-confrontational resolution. NTA. NTA, you diverted the ducks away from what could have been a bad scene. No kidding. Ducks may look cute, but they can be pretty brutal when they have to be. Or want to be. Ducks can be Oz and their bites can get pretty nasty. I've rarely seen unwarranted butthole behavior from ducks. But if the kids are harassing the ducks, and the ducks don't like it, they could get the unwarranted butthole duck behavior. If they are being harassed, I wouldn't say being a butthole is unwarranted. They aren't geese. I had a pet Muscovy duck when I was younger. She was like a feathered, not potty-trained puppy most of the time, but sometimes that typical I am an angry bird and I don't know why but. Instinct would kick in and she could leave bruises with her bites. She also gave me a pretty nasty cut on my hand once from one of her talons, but that one wasn't intentional. The clumsy dummy lost her balance while perched on my hand, forgot she had wings, and dug her claws in as she started to fall. I caught her before she came close to hitting the ground. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.